Just a quick question. Don't know if you've thought about this, but where did COVID go? Because about this time, 6 years ago, everything was COVID. And now, I can't tell you the last time I heard someone report on how many people were getting COVID. So, what happened? Where has it gone? And when we're facing sickness, why is it suddenly not COVID anymore? Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to my day. You are getting me in like full glory today as my entire household is sick. My husband got sick about a week ago. It's seasonal changes. Our weather has been having like 30, 40-degree shifts with massive winds. Like it's kind of just that thing that happens. It's been quite crazy. We were at almost 80 degrees. Yeah, seriously. Then within a matter of days, we're in the teens. And now we're back up like hitting mid 60s, almost 70 tomorrow. So it's kind of just crazy, and it is what it is. My whole my husband got sick. And then as of today, all of the kids woke up. All of the kids have it. They're running fevers. They feel miserable. We're pulling out the oil of oregano, right? We're pulling out the apple cider vinegar. We're pulling out the good things. I will say for me, and this is like genuinely just as a friend, I'm sharing it with you because the first thing I did for my kids, I said, y'all, you got to take some beef organ supplements. This is the game changer. I pulled mine out here because I'm getting ready to take a couple more. I take Primal Queen and have for a year and a half or so now. It's been a long time. And so thankfully, I get the least sick, if sick at all, and whatever it is that they've got that they're passing around, I am feeling it in the way. Thankfully for me, I just up my beef organs I'm taking. So I'll probably feel better tomorrow, day after. And I kind of usually just end up with like a day or two where I've got a little bit of a sore throat and I'm just kind of tired, but I'm not nearly running the fevers and hacking my lungs out and doing everything that they're doing. So we're sitting around in the house, and it made me kind of reflect back on, a handful of years ago, our family, we had COVID a few times. And one time we had COVID, we were all so sick for a few months. It was awful. I mean, I thought it was never going to end. I was doing my vlog a day for a whole year challenge. And so it was like the same story on repeat for the longest time of me, like another day of COVID. We're just trying to get through it. We were so sick, but kind of sharing along the way. And then it made me think, as we're all sitting here, they're all sick. I've got kids and my husband, everybody's laid out. My son's in college and it's finals this week. So he's like laying on his bed trying to log in remotely for class and like get through his stuff. Poor guy, he's running a massive fever. And I thought it was kind of interesting because I was like, huh. I kind of had that thought pop up in my head of, I wonder if this could be COVID. I don't think it is, right? But it's just kind of that like, it was just, seasonal cold, seasonal whatever. But then I was like, oh, that's funny. Why don't we guess when somebody's sick if it's COVID anymore? And then I thought, well, is it just me? But then I was thinking about it, and I can't remember the last time somebody talked about having COVID or it being COVID. We went from the news, obviously, when it was being reported every single day around the clock of how many cases of COVID there was. And now, I mean, I see stuff about the flu. I see stuff about apparently measles is popping up in North Carolina. So like I see different various things, but I cannot recall the last time that I heard like a news source or even just a friend or somebody in passing talk about having COVID. Isn't that weird? Like, don't you find that at least slightly interesting that we went from tracking COVID with absolute precision to where is it? Where did it go? Maybe it's just me. Maybe you have had it recently. Maybe you know someone who has, or like I figured I would just ask because I think that's another piece of this is sometimes, if not all the times, it can really feel like something is happening because that's what all the media is promoting, right? That's what all of the news is reporting on. That's what everybody on social media is picking up on, whatever the case may be, that's what's happening. And so it kind of becomes like, wow, you're right. But then there's other things where, official sources are citing that, unemployment is down and the economy is doing better and cost of living is doing better and all these different things. And yet you hop online and you talk about it with other people and everybody's like, what are you talking about? That is not at all the case of what's going on. That's a load of garbage. Here's what I'm dealing with. And you're like, okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing. So now I have a little more information from real people of what's going on and what's happening. And so I know, like, for me, this morning I woke up, I'm literally in just like a sweater and comfy pants. And all day I've just been kind of puttering around, taking care of kids, snuggling kids, just kind of resting, hanging out. My hair, I literally just, it's been like thrown up and like laid on, not a lick of makeup, not a lick of nothing. I just had to rest. I couldn't take it anymore. I just like, ooh, this exhaustion, you know, like, again, I'm popping. I've taken like twice the amount or 3 times the amount of this today because I'm like, give me all the nutrients so like my body can fight this thing off. Got the apple cider vinegar, like I said, got the oil of oregano, like, let's do this, let's get through it. But isn't it just fascinating? Get as conspiracy minded as you want to with this. You know, I think there's an agenda behind a lot of things. Everybody has an agenda, of course. But how come one thing was promoted so specifically for so long, and now in a matter of less than 6 years, it's practically unheard of? You know, the other thing I think is interesting is we've been having to do a bunch of doctor's appointments for even for extended family and stuff that we've been doing. Not once has any of them even been offered a COVID shot. Not once. And that's been at 2 different hospital systems and specialists and just regular like doctor offices. Never once on any of the visits, either with extended family that I've been going with and doing stuff with or anything that I've been to myself, has a COVID shot been offered. Flu shots, yes, which I am a very anti-flu shot person, but that can be a rant for another day. Never once have they been offered. Why is that? Like, maybe there's an answer, maybe there's a reason, and I just don't know what it is. Like, that could very well be the answer of what's going on. Like, I don't doubt it. Did I just scare you? I'm so sorry.
You are all good. I just see red, and then I'm like,
What?
Oh, it's Heidi filming the
Yeah.
vlog. Okay. I'm so sorry.
No, you're so fine. I just come out here now, so it's quieter with everybody, but it wasn't cold, so I didn't have to turn the car on. And then I could see you in the rearview mirror, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to scare you. But also if I pop the door open, that's going to scare you. So I was like, well, I'll just hang out and see what happens. I'm so sorry. No, I'm so sorry.
You're fine. I'm sorry. You're all good.
Are you guys feeling any better?
My throat still kind of hurts, but I can randomly sound like a normal person.
Okay. There is some throat coat tea in there too, if you want some, or sore throat, whatever. It's one of the ones, but there is some in there.
Something allergy-wise.
I know. Well, and that's what it is. I mean, we can't, it was 80 degrees, then it was 10 degrees, and now it's like 60 some odd degree. I mean, what?
Thank you. I will be feeling some.
Of course, sweetie. Sorry. Thank you. We've got a big family. There's 12 of us here. I've got people coughing all over my house. It's really become a thing. People who record in their cars, they're onto something because it's like having your own little like sound studio. It's quiet and it's temperature controlled. And so, ta-da, here I am. But then unfortunately, it means when my family walks by the car trying to go from one space to another, I scare the bejesus out of them. So sorry to my precious niece that I just gave her a slight heart attack over here. Anyways, I just think it is interesting. I have no idea what I was talking about. I've completely spaced it, but that's okay. I just think that there is so much propaganda happening everywhere, and there always has been. Welcome to the world, right? Welcome to life. It happens. But at what point do we not stop and see that that's what it is? It's all just propaganda. Now, I think there are probably a lot of us here watching this video that were on that same page during COVID of, this is crazy, this is ridiculous, I'm not wearing your stupid face diaper, I'm not getting your crazy shot, like I'm not doing that stuff. This is not how we should be responding. I think there's a lot of us on that train. But whether you were or weren't, I think eventually at some point you start looking around where, again, in under 5 years, I'm looking at this going, maybe there are some places that are still pushing the COVID vaccine. That could be absolutely real. Like, I'm sure there has to be some, right? It didn't just 100% go away. But isn't it weird that you don't see it very much? I mean, you don't have every celebrity running a commercial of you have to go and get this or we're all going to die. Like, isn't it interesting that it's really not spoken of very much? How come when the flu reports are coming out of how many people are getting the flu this winter, we're kind of like the end of it, but still, like, those reports that come out, how come none of them covered how many were COVID? Isn't that weird? And again, maybe there were some somewhere. Like, I'm sure people are still getting COVID, but do we not see the difference? Like, do they really think that we are that dumb of sheep? I mean, quite literally, I was just watching, I could see in the rearview mirror my little sheep out there grazing as the day's kind of winding down and, looking at them, and they're so precious. I love them so much. My little Ruth, it was literally her birthday last week. Yes, I know the birthday of all my sheep, so like I was out there giving her special love, doing all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? You such a sweet little thing. But that's not how they look at us. They really do look at us like we're just dumb sheep, ready to follow whatever they tell us, whatever is happening. And at what point do we not look around and go, I think this is ridiculous. I think this is pretty stupid. I'm not that ignorant. I'm not going to play your game. I'm not going to buy into all of the nonsense that you push at me. How come COVID was the scariest thing the world had ever faced? Probably next to the Black Plague. And now it doesn't exist. I know it can't be because the vaccine eradicated it, because we all know darn well there is a ton of us who refuse that junk from the get-go. So how did that work? How does a worldwide disease like that all but disappear in under 5 years' time? Because even thinking about this, I don't remember really hearing about COVID last year. Maybe I did the year before, but like it doesn't stand out to me. Like, I couldn't pinpoint something where I was like, oh yeah, I remember them talking about that. For the longest time, one of our local grocery stores that has a pharmacy in it had on their billboard, or not their billboard, but like the signs they have at the entrance to like the shopping centers, they had a thing like, get your COVID booster shots here. But it was just kind of the sign that went up in like 2022, I think. It just kind of sat there. But that was the last time I can really remember seeing anything about COVID really anywhere. So I think that's funny. I think that's funny that something that has truly changed the world, I mean, our world has not been the same since COVID. And I think there's a lot of things we could talk about on that subject. Let me know the things you've noticed, right? Like, that could be a conversation for another day. But everything in our world changed after that. But yet it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it has to exist somewhere, right? But like, apparently it's not that big of a deal. So you're telling me something naturally came to be that rocked the entire world, literally to its core. And now it's just miraculously disappeared? Do they really think we're that dumb? I mean, I think they do think we are, but really? How can we still keep going? I mean, you see this. I was at the doctor's yesterday, actually. We were in the doctor's and we were talking with her, and she now works in a private practice, but came from years and years and years of being in the hospital and specifically the ERs. And that's what she was talking about. She was going on and she's like, honestly, she goes, nothing is the same since COVID. And she worked at the hospitals. After COVID, she transitioned into private practice, but she was talking about, she was like, oh no, like, you think it was bad and it rocked the healthcare system during everything that went on back in 2020? Absolutely, I believe you. Like, I can only imagine. She says healthcare has never recuperated since then. In fact, things only continue to get worse. And I think we've seen that everywhere. It's the same thing. I was talking with a counselor and they were talking about the school system and something, whatever. And it just kind of naturally came up. And she's like, oh, well, I mean, it's never gotten back to normal since COVID. everywhere you go, right? You have all of these things. I mean, we went to the vet's office a handful, however long ago it was, and they were like, oh no, we do it this way now ever since COVID. And it was like, there was no rhyme or reason to why they were doing it that way, only that they learned in COVID they can get away with doing it that way. They like it, right? It's easier on them, which, all right, whatever. And so that's how they continue to do stuff. But I think it's just, again, so interesting. Maybe it's just me, right? But how much in our world has changed because of COVID, yet where is COVID to be found anymore today? Now, I'm not putting it past anyone that there's not a new COVID 2.0 that's going to pop out at some point, and whatever the next disaster is going to be or whatever. Honestly, I'm not even getting myself. It is what it is. We all know something's going to happen at some point. Come, Lord Jesus, come. But maybe, just maybe, we're smarter than they think we are. And we went through COVID. And we've gone through 9 million other disasters because they're a dime a dozen these days. And we're going to be a little more prepared and maybe a little more firmly footed the next time something happens. Because there's normal changes, there's new seasons, right? There's all these things that we can go into. And then there's the stuff that I feel like has to make us sit back and chuckle. Like your whole house coming down with, some seasonal ick that happens because our weather is crazy, whether you believe that's natural or whatever you think is going on, right? Like again, whatever that conversation was going to be, because our weather is behaving more and more erratically than it ever has. Everybody's coming down with the ick. Everybody's getting the thing. And then I'm looking around and I'm going, it's funny. A few years ago, we would have immediately had to have been tested for COVID, right? A disease so deadly, you have to be tested to know if you even have it. So a few years ago, we would have had to have been tested for COVID. But this year, I'm going, man, I can't even think of the last time I heard someone talk about having it. I'm sure people have. I'm not saying they haven't. But it'd be interesting to know. What about you? Have you had COVID recently? Are you still hearing people talk about it? And currently, not like talking about it like thinking back, but currently dealing with it or being prepared for it or anything. Are you still getting hounded to get the shots and, do all the different things? Like, is that still happening? Maybe it is. But we're real people having a real conversation. And I trust that a heck of a lot more than I do whatever is being propagated out at me. Yeah, I know there's bots and there's all the things that can happen, when you're talking about comments online. But I think a lot of times you can really see which comments, are the ones not coming from real people. AI is not smart enough quite yet anyways. But anyways, just something I thought of because it made me kind of chuckle. Like, how come nobody has COVID anymore? Wait, where did COVID go? Is it just us or is anybody else hearing about COVID? Because I can't remember the last time I heard about it other than that like past tense kind of memory lane of life during COVID or the fact that nothing in our world has gone back to normal since. Just saying. So anyways, I'm going to pop a couple more Primal Queen. I'm telling y'all, check them out down below. These things have changed so much in my body. Our health is so important, and especially my immune system. I love that as much as I'm not happy that my family is sick, I love that I know I'm not going to get that sick. I'll be a little tired, got a little bit of sore throat. I'll drink a little extra tea, go to bed a little early tonight. I can keep up to be pouring into all of them. I'm in there pumping some beef liver supplements onto all of them. We're taking our apple cider vinegar. We're doing all of our things. Lord, help us to heal up and just return to strength again. When there's 12 people that something has to pass through, it just takes a little bit of time. So we'll get everybody up and going here soon. But a little thought I wanted to share with you all here today. Again, share this with a friend. Like this video if you found any of it encouraging or thoughtful. Leave your comments down below. Those are just free, simple, easy ways that you guys can engage and help our little family ministry channel here to just reach out and connect with others. I love being able to share and to have these real conversations that I think most of us are craving, quite honestly, especially in these difficult seasons of life, which, hello, our world is pure chaos. So thank you for hanging out with me here today, and I will see you all right back here in the next one, Lord willing. Bye, friends.